Well, today, wouldn't you know it, on the brink of potentially a financial disaster in Europe, we get a rally. Isn't that how the market works? I don't know. I'll ask Joe and see what he thinks.
All right, it is time for pre-market prep at the close.
Three consecutive highs, opened, matched yesterday's low, and then once it took out there, that's all the breakout momentum traders needed.
Well, look what we can do with logic. Throw it out of here. Get out of here.
Were we bullish Friday or were we bullish today? I can't remember. Was it Friday?
Oh, man. It was Friday with an egg on my head, but.
Oh, man.
You see, I don't get dressed up today, and you see what happens?
Yeah. I mean, it's bear trap. Bear trap. I'll tell you right now. This
bear market rally.
This bear trap has honey in it. It has some fresh deer that got caught in it. This is like licking the chops for the bears, man. All right, let's run down the commodities and futures. We'll get to individual stocks here in just a minute. They got it going in the pre-market, and then they just kept on going. We're up in the 3,700 handle. Who would have thought that? Not me, because my highest number was Thursday's interday high at 97.50. So back to when I was doing these last night, I'm like, because I'm looking for support in the 3,500 handle, and I'm going way back. I'm like, nah, I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back that far because there isn't any. And sure enough, we kissed the December 2020 low, basis of rolling front month contract. And here we are, 102.5 handles higher, off the high of the session, 1175. What's helping out? A weak buck. That's what's helping it out. Down 36.9 cents at 111.715. TLT up, but off the highs. That's up 94 cents, 103.39. Crude up. Good old OPEC got it going, up 3.80 at 83.29. Buck off the high though. Gold glitters up 35.10, 1707 20. This has got to be the best day in silver in about 100 years. That's up 1.696 cents at 20.73 and a half. Bitcoin even trying to join the rally, up $90 at 19,515. But little old Ethereum futures, the futures of NFTs, it's down 23.50 at 1308.50.
So, reasoning why things are up. This is the fun part. Of course, what's going to be mentioned today? Is it right? Is it wrong? I'll leave it up to you to decide. But what did we get? We got some economic data to hit the tape today. We got ISM to come on through. And why would that make the market kind of continue the rally? I mean, it essentially was started from the morning. But let's take a look. This came in at 50.9 versus 52.2 expected. And what does this show us? This shows us a weaker number in manufacturing. 50, anything lower than 50 would be a contraction, but we are going down, so heading in the wrong direction here. And what does that show us? A weakening economy. And so some people are saying that this might cause the Fed to not be so aggressive.
Bad news is good news. That's what you like, right? Got some bad news. You're right. The rally was going a little jitters off the open, but that 10 o'clock number, you know how it moves, the old 10 o'clock turn, and you can see that second blue bar. That's where they caught it, and then whoosh, and then it took off. So we, what else do we have? We have jolts tomorrow, right? Mm-hmm. And then we have. We got the jobs number. Hopefully it'll be absolutely terrible. But I can't remember what I was talking about this weekend about, getting stuff done, because I had some stuff done. It's just, I don't know. It's a recession where there's job openings and people don't want to work. What do you classify that? How do you classify that?
I don't know.
A recession with inflation, with job openings.
That's not recession. At least technically wise in the books, it's not going to be recession. And so this might never even go down as a recession, technically wise.
Well, what if you measure GDP, negative GDP?
No, because the truth
Too
is,
cool.
it's a board. It's a board that determines recession. It's not just, it's going to be a decision about what do they see. And then if they see no weakening in the jobs market, GDP could go negative 5 readings in a row, and they'll still say it's not a recession, Joel.
Are we on that board?
No, because if it were on that board, we would have called this a recession probably on the first reading. But that's just because we were a little bit more kind of leading and trying to figure things out. But I mean, now what do you do? Do you call this the bottom, or do you just think this was a one-day rally? That's the hard part about dealing with this type of market, and why I will be kind of more on this might be a logical move for me. So I'm just going to stay on the sidelines today instead of trying to really jump on in this kind of fashion, late to the party, trying to join the boat. And so it's hard to call it, but I think, like Dennis has been saying, it's buy the dips and sell the rips. Now the question, will this rip get sold?
This 100 handle. I mean, there is just a lot of bad days in there. I mean, you have to think about at least, a 2-day move, right? I mean, get some continuation of this. You can look at. I mean, we got that I hate when the charts, like, I have a really good area and then they mess it up, right? Because we had that. It was 370 in the spider. It was right here in the S&P. And then that one day they messed it up, and that was the high for the week. Boom, boom. What was that? I mean, that was so far away on my levels, I couldn't even get it in there. That would have been 150 points higher. 37.51 and a quarter is last week's high. My weekly number, it usually like blinks there, like for me to get bullish, and the weekly number came in at 36.50, but it was like, unless you had a buy, I mean, there was like, it went through it, and then it was like, okay, you didn't buy it the first time. And that's the thing about the market. It's like, you're bullish, you lose money on here, 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 here. And then that one day, where you're expecting bad news, you get something and you miss it, and they laugh at you. Now, now what are you thinking if you're bears, or what are you thinking if you didn't deploy assets? Then on a pullback now, you're going to be trying to deploy. Oh, I did miss the bottom. Oh, that $6.5 billion sell balance. Fund managers just puking their positions all over the place. Oh, they're going to buy it back today. They got no chance. You got no chance to buy anything back at the mark. I looked at a couple different stocks. They didn't come back to unchanged, unless you're Tesla. But that's a whole different story.
That's what has me a little bit concerned. I don't think that they repositioned in there today, and so they might have gotten caught. But is the bigger money positioning to the short side? That's what you have to ask yourself here still. And let's go towards some news out there, right? So, of course, let's take a look at they tried to knock down Apple today. At least Morgan Stanley came out with a little bit of news out there. And they tried to step on up, talking about how they have some statistics on Apple's store, their app store, and the revenue on it declined 5% in September, according to Morgan Stanley, the steepest drop since the bank started modeling the data in 2015.
Jeez, man. Nice try, Morgan Stanley.
The banks are trying.
You missed the boat, fellas. You should have been covering on the Bloomberg headline. You should have been covering on the Bank of America downgrade. And now they're like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? We go, what was it? Apple ads or whatever?
Their app store.
Their app store?
Yeah.
Like,
so,
what percentage of that? They have an app store? No, I'm joking. What percentage of that is their revenues?
I mean, I would love to have that answer. That answer is probably very slim to none, but
yeah, They're like, you better. They go
You
in
know,
and
they didn't
ran
step up and said anything about iPhone. You get what I mean? They brought in the App Store. They threw the curveball when everybody was looking for a fastball here, and it didn't even move the stock one bit. As you can see, Apple just coming on up here. Now I'm seeing around the 144. What will happen around there? It's going to be interesting. It's gone straight up since the bottoming.
Actually, you did get a chance to buy this in the red. Actually, you got a chance to buy this below yesterday's low. So there's a little malaise off the open. Everyone, oh, Apple's going to the June low, and I'm just going to let it fall. But that did open 38.20, quick dip. Did pierce the low from Friday. But then, the S&P started chugging. You're talking about 144, Mitch. I don't see anything there, but I'm going to go a little bit lower, and I'm going to look at Friday's high right here at 43.10. And then that's backed up by today's high at 43.07. So, if you bought the dip on Thursday, well, you're still in the red. You bought the dip yesterday, right there. So I'll keep an eye on that. 143.10, potential double top. Spoo's got a little allergic there to the 3,700 handle. We got 37.1175, and now we're going to be battling to close above 3,700. 18 minutes left to go in the session.
Tesla tried to make a little bit of a comeback there, and that might have been the little swing you see there as Tesla swings back towards the lows now at 244.40. And it just seems like the other day I was even looking at Tesla and being like, can we get to the 312s? Can we get up there? Boom! Smack down back towards the 240s.
Actually, your number was 311.70, Mitch.
I was looking for it.
You got to
wick
wait
that
for it, and you got that one. You got that one off a close too. That's where you got that from. How do you like when I know where your good numbers at? How is that?
That's for the chat to start taking some notes down there, because that shows us that we're seeing multiple levels in certain areas, and when you see multiple traders kind of mention a certain area, what does that show us? That shows us more and more how important those levels are. And you guys can start learning more and more about the closes, right? Because wicks, and I've been saying it, and I'm going to continue saying it, wicks are tricks. More and more, I'm starting to realize those wicks are tricks, and you can't pay attention too much to wicks, because they mislead you.
Let's address Spill Buyer LP. Triple D tomorrow. I sold everything in my long portfolio in the rally. Sell the rep. What do you? Okay. Well, first of all, he's not going to sell everything.
Sell the rep.
Yeah. No. You know what he's going to be?
What's it going to be like, Joe?
He's going to be the buy. He's going to look for a dip to buy. This is like, he's not selling it. This is just a 1 day rep. He'll be like, oh boy, the jobs numbers coming up, and I'm going to buy the dip. That's what he's going to say. And he did buy some. He did add some stuff yesterday. He was blaming Craig Johnson for it. I bet you he's up on those Qs now. Let's see where the Qs are at. But let's see. One, if you think Triple T is going to be, he's going to backtrack a little bit and say,
let's
I'm going to try and buy the dip.
I'm going to try and buy the dip.
Or do you think he just was like, oh my gosh, we finally got a rally. I can go 110% cash. One, he's going to buy the dip. Two, he's just sold the living daylights out of this rally and it's flat. What do we got?
I see the chat. The chat's going to love this one. I think we all think about it some days. We're just like, well, I wonder how Dennis is going to come in tomorrow.
He's just, I know. Look at we got everyone fooled here. There we go. We got a 1. Oh, look at this. 1.5 Michael Smith walking the line. He's selling the straddle.
Yeah. He's selling the straddle. There you go. He's looking for volatility.
Look at this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1.5. Let's see here. You love Triple D's and Menor. What do you think you get every morning for an hour every day?
That's what you get.
Yeah. What else do you want?
There's more 2s coming in now.
More 2s?
Yeah, it looks like the twos are outweighing the
Alfred
ones.
Estrella and Jesse Hernandez.
They want to change
Change
the.
agent is looking for the triple D hair indicator. You know what I think it's going to be with him tomorrow? It's like one
Ooh.
side's going to be combed, and then the other side is going to be all crazy. So it's going to be like a mixed day. So no one's going to be able. But I got my ears lowered over the weekend. Feels
You
good.
heard, Joel, they want you to do a contest on PreMarket Prep Plus saying that spend the day with Triple D contest.
Oh, I don't know. Anybody can handle that.
I'll tell you one thing. You don't know if you want to be over there.
The whole day. I don't know. It could be stressful. Dada says the market 3,700. Yeah, I mean Dada. I don't know. Triple B will be in defensive
The
mode on
market
the
wants
show.
it.
Scroll. It's one day though. It's just a 1 day rally. I mean, can't you wait for like a 2 day rally to sell it? So we'll
Was
see.
this an oil rally that brought the market back up?
No, it was Credit Suisse going bankrupt.
Oh,
and then not going bankrupt.
That's it. That's what does the job now. Look, did you see MRO's 10% day though?
MRO. Yeah, on OPEC, but then what they decide not to do it. Wow, nice
Yeah. Then they're like, oh yeah, bring it back.
Let's see here. Filled the gap, and that was a tough one because that gapped up $1. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be more willing to buy 23 than I'd buy. I don't know. I'd wait for the gap fill on this one, but it's still strong. It's still plugging. Not much above 25. How did Oxy do today? Bet you Oxy had a good day. Yeah. Well, it still hung out at that 64.
Yeah, the gap up.
Oh, gap up. Oh, don't you love that? You don't buy when
they don't let
buys.
you. They don't let you. You know what I mean? They take it up before you can get it.
I saw ExxonMobil, even though you had that really higher open, it's still the open.
Look at that gap fill.
Yeah. Ooh. CVX, how did that trade
So
today?
many of these oils filled that gap from that down day on Thursday to Friday, the 22nd to the 23rd. There's plenty of stocks that kind of filled in those gaps from that.
By creating a lower gap.
That is true. Another one that didn't do too bad was on the upgrade of Wells Fargo.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Closing another gap there. So WFC, nice little gap fill. Now, can it hold the gap fill around the 41.44 level?
Goldman Sachs instigates a rally with the timely upgrade. Actually, I did that this is the pre-market prep stock of the day. And you guys should take notes that when Mitch and I unanimously agree on something, that it has a better than a 50% probability of happening. It was trading around 41 at the time. And Triple D had it on for an overnight position. He said he was selling at the Oz. That wasn't it. He just likes to be flat at the open and then go fix his leaky fireplace. And so it hit 41.29. And it pulled back in, but it didn't. It got into yesterday's range, but it got nowhere near the close. Caught a bit, and what we talked about was this little gap fill here, and that was 41.44. Now, buying off the open, you would have taken some heat, but if you could have picked an intermediate term place, it did fill the gap. Room up to 42 and change in Wells Fargo. So we'll see. A rare move by a bank, investment bank upgrading a commercial bank. I mean, I guess Wells Fargo does some research. But yeah, you attribute that to Goldman Sachs. Bank of America not having a bad day, but struggling to get out of that 31 handle. We'll see if we can even close over 31 today. And then JP Morgan, which has fallen out, used to be a big part of the top components of the index. Just the same, triple bottom there. And I gave you a look at that today, but still, I mean, trading in the lower quadrant here of this chart. So, they're 1 day, but once again, 1 day certainly doesn't make for a major rally. As we speak, we're starting to pull back, but look at it, folks. We've had 140 point range, which is way over our average daily range of 90, or what our target was 98.50. So there you go. Yeah, Tesla, it's down today. What were this? The poor delivery numbers?
Yeah, it was poor delivery numbers, not meeting their deliveries. And I mean, I think at the end of the day, I think this is one of those that the story is just not right now. I think you're gonna have to wait till you get those new products like the Cybertruck and the semi truck to really get this stock moving again. Now the question comes: do you go and take out those lows? Right? I mean, you got some lows that are coming on in that we were concerned about Tesla when it was down there. It had reversed, but now it's going right back into that same area.
Yeah, I mean they came for the generals, last Thursday. And that was Apple and Tesla. I can't remember when Tesla was down on Friday too. But I thought this one, usually you get the Tesla lovers coming in off the open. You got nowhere near to a gap fill in that one. So that's a bad performance, down 8.34%. This had been holding up extremely well, but now it's not. So the tide has turned here. I don't know what Elon's doing, is if he's been tweeting or whatever. But I don't know. I can't. I mean, let's see what happens at 240. I'm looking at it. There's nothing exactly there. There's three here. I'll give you an area to see if this is just a little pullback. Going back, I got three lows within. Well, there's really two exact lows at 36, just under 237, and that was buffeted by a low at 239.60. So looks like you might get a look at this under 240. First time down is 237. Looks like a good level just because you had two daily lows in that area. MOC imbalance, well, might be to the sell side after a big update like this. You got the imbalance there, Mitchell?
I'll take a look right now and see what we got. It looks like what I have right now is 245 million to the buy side. So not seeing
That's
that.
nothing.
Yeah, nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
Until we see that billion word, we don't even pay attention.
Yeah,
But did you see VSAT today? Viasat. This was moving off of a Wall Street Journal report that the satellite company was close to dealing a military communications unit to defense contractor L3 Harris Technology. I just think it's truly interesting how it's just gone sideways for the last 3 hours here. And just watching it here coming into the close after that spike in the middle. Man. That's VSAT.
Oh, VSAT.
VSAT. VSAT.
That's not
Viasat.
Oh man, these are the world's toughest candles, right? Because you get
Look at that little sleepiness.
Yeah. Oh, real sleepiness. I'm kind of torn on this one because it's the first day of a 2-day move, and just haven't been great saying, "Oh, this is going to go down and fill the gap." I don't know. It's finishing in the lower quadrant of for the day. So you're going to have a little resistance. I don't know what the close is going to be tomorrow, for today, but that close is going to be a big level. That's the highest you've closed since what's that? January, February, March, April. So that close is big, and then getting over 44. Alvin Smith is being very polite here. Just like all of our chat members, and saying, what about Coinbase? And I know what Alvin's looking at here. Alvin, this is easy, man. Look at this trading. Not easy. Nothing's easy in this market. But Alvin, this is what you need. I mean, you got to knock out this 67.5, 68 seller. I mean, they're there. They've been there for the last 4 out of the last 5 sessions. They're saying, no, you're not getting through 68 there. So it's hard for me to get bullish this thing until you can clear that 68 with a vengeance. And then it's been a trading range. 60's been the bottom of the trading range. So there's where your risk is too. Didn't hit that last week, but the week before. But I feel much better telling you, Alvin, just to focus on 68.
So it looks like there's some headlines out there for Coinbase. It looks like there's some battles going on in cryptocurrency right now between exchanges FTX, and it looks like the CME group as they're battling for futures to cut out the middleman. So if you want to do a little bit deeper dive looking into that conversation, maybe go ahead and look into what's going on with FTX and CME group, that they're battling there for to be the middleman in the futures market for cryptocurrency. So it's an interesting conversation, just something you guys can maybe do a little deeper dive on to check out what's going on there.
Good old CME 178. I mean, that's rock solid support. You got or not 178. What am I thinking? 175, 3 lows in that area. That's what you're leaning on. On the upside here for the good old CME, you got a trio of highs. Not so much worried about the weekly high, but what's got 180.625. That's your major resistance for CME. Spoos still leaking here. Still leaking.
Well, Citi took their shot today to slash their 2022 S&P 500 target from 4,200 to 4,000. So they brought it down a little bit. The interesting note there wasn't necessarily that takedown of 42 to 4,000, but the establishing the index for next year and looking at a target of 3,900. So they actually see us coming down in 23.
For
the S&P 500. That's
let's get through October.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I just thought it was interesting. They're looking at the end of the year at 4,000, but yet the following year at 3,900. It just didn't make sense to me. It was like that's such a hard outlook. I guess I mean, hey, Citigroup, if you want, I could give you a little bit more. I'll give you the 3,800 or something. I'll go out on a limb a little bit. Norwegian Cruise Line ended all COVID-19 testing, masking, and vaccination requirements effective on Tuesday, as I feel like this was their last attempt. Anyway, can you guys bring back some demand? Even if we take vaccinations off, will you guys come back, please?
I mean, what a bad day. But that was CCL related,
CCL,
right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, you got good support here. You haven't been back down to your COVID low. I don't know, just no man's land here. Even on the dailies, I mean, if you want to lean on $11, that wasn't a bad level, just under 11. You had 3 lows there. I didn't give you that this morning, so I'm not going to take credit for it. 3 lows between 1083 and 1096. Today's low probably that undercut that by a good margin. So you would have been like, oh man. No, only 1083. Oh, because it's the way the grid is 1050, 1150, and then 1250. So there's your support. Boy, that's just an ugly candle. Let's see how CCL is doing. Boom. Oh, continuation below the COVID low. That doesn't make me bullish. NC LH. And then Royal Caribbean. Boom, boom, boom. Undercut the low from yesterday. Let's go to the airlines. I don't know. Wait, we're closed? Oh, shoot. Well,
just hit it.
I guess I'm taking some stuff home. Anyways, not a bad day in the market. It's gonna take some work here. A good close. Sniffed the 3,700 handle. Just one good day in the market to start October, right? We're off to a decent start.
Yep, we'll see if we get a day 2 move. The only kind of concerning headline that I saw out there was this headline that caught my eye on Benzinga Pro, which is the U.S. expected to announce new measures restricting Chinese company from accessing technology enabling high performance computing. So I think we'll hear a little bit more about the battle in semis with China. And I think this is really expanding. I've never seen it get to this point where you're hearing, shipments be restricted. You're hearing more and more connections on the battle there with semis. Of course, we have the CHIPS Act that is trying to, bring it on over here to the U.S. So I'd look for some more troubles out in technology, but just be careful out there. We'll see
All
what
right,
happens.
Mitchy Mitch, I'll let you finish up the day tomorrow.
We'll see what Triple D comes in.
Yeah, he's going to be coming in, and yep. So Tuesday, and then yeah. I mean, if you go and sell Rosh Hashanah, buy Yom Kippur, maybe maybe it's going to work with you. So, folks, thanks for joining us, Mitch. Great job as always. Back with you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.
See you guys.